Well, good morning, everyone. My name is JC, and with me today I have my business partners, Remus Okaitis and Sebastian Bartle. And we're very happy to be here presenting to you what we believe is an exciting and unique investment opportunity in BeTheBuilders.com. Now, BeTheBuilders.com is an interactive, web-based community which offers resources to people who want to learn how to make environmentally friendly home renovations. Now, before we begin, let me quickly take you through an agenda, give you an idea of what we're going to be discussing today. We'll start off with their introduction. Then we're going to take you into some market research, show you how we sort of developed this concept a little bit with some data. Then we're going to take you into a product overview, which is our actual website. And Remus is actually going to take you through a demonstration of the website and some of the features we have right now. Then we're going to show you our management team, give you an idea of our internal structure, show you our marketing strategy, give you a very quick snapshot of our financials, give you our implementation plan, then conclude, answer any questions you may have. So first, let me just point out a few things that we believe show a real market need for BeTheBuilders. Now, as you know, environmental awareness is growing across a number of unique sectors, and green education is really increasing in demand. And the masses are really looking for ways to practically infuse being green into their daily lives. Now, we also know that this is a very shaky and uncertain housing market in the U.S., and homeowners now more than ever are looking for wise ways to invest their dollars in their homes that are both cost-conscious but also maximize the longer-term benefit that those projects and investments have. Now, the solution to this market need is BeTheBuilders.com. BeTheBuilders.com makes community members a part of our remodeling team. We offer them access to a wide range of content that's positioned towards environmentally themed home improvement. Now, we do this by collaborating with homeowners, contractors, and industry experts to deliver these green renovation resources through features such as how-to webisodes, discussion forums, blogs, and other materials. Now, we've done extensive market research in this area. I want to show just a little bit of that to you now. As you know, there are approximately 74 million homeowners in the United States. And of that group, it's estimated that 29.6 million did at least one home renovation in the last year. And that represents a 10% increase year over year. Now, we also know that of that group, 12.8 million in the US use the internet as their primary reference source to the entirety of that project. Now, we believe that this 12.8 million represents a very targetable and available market for this company. Now, there are some drivers that are growing this opportunity even further. For example, U.S. Congress passed a stimulus package, and as you know, they're offering a 30% tax credit for energy-efficient home improvement investments. In addition, this economy is really causing a shift in perspective or the psychology of homeowners. We're sort of leaving that model of buying and flipping and going back to that traditional model of holding on to it as an investment for the longer term. Studies are showing that families are actually building homes now that are supposed to be multi-generational, where they can pass it down to their children and their children's children. Now, all of these factors beg the question, why aren't more people doing home improvement? Well, in a recent Mintel survey of homeowners, when they were asked what inhibited them from doing their own renovations, 50% of the total respondents cited a lack of do-it-yourself knowledge, and 47% cited a lack of do-it-yourself experience. Well, BeTheBuilders has that knowledge, and we give our users access to that experience. So how do we do it? Well, we do it through a robust feature package built around a very interactive and engaging website. For example, we have blogs from industry experts such as green architects, carpenters, solar and panel installers. We also have a dashboard where our users are able to plan, track, and implement all of the major aspects of their home and renovations. We have micro-documentaries where we give them a bird's-eye view of the industry specifics of environmental technology and familiarize them with the industry. We also have an online catalog where, through collaborating with affiliate partners, we're able to offer our users and homeowners access to the tools and resources that they need to get the job done right. We also have discussion forums where users are able to interact with each other as well as our experts and share advice and opinions on their particular projects. Lastly, we have the cornerstone of our feature package, our how-to webisodes. And these short 6 to 10 minute webisodes take our users step by step and show them exactly how to do each of these home renovations in their own properties. So to give you a quick idea of what we're looking at, we've done our season 1 webisode content, and we've selected our first 3 environmental themes. We have water conservation, energy efficiency, and organic building materials. And just to give you an idea of what we're looking at doing, one of our webisodes, we're going to show our users how to install their own low flush toilet. We're also going to show them the importance of and how to evaluate and install their own environmentally friendly insulation. Now, with these webisodes, we'll also be pairing micro-documentaries, where, for example, we're actually going to be interviewing a CPA, teaching our users how to go through and get the tax rebate from the U.S. government, as well as we're going to take them on a tour of the green drywall plant. Now, with that, I'd like to hand it over to Remus, who's going to talk a little bit more about the evolution of our site to date.
Thank you, JC. So when we started down this process, we figured we'd get a presence online almost immediately. So what we did is put up an initial web page where we collected email addresses, sent out newsletters and things of that nature, which ultimately led us to our first splash page, if you will, which integrated some of our features, and then ultimately our second splash page, which if you go online right now, this is what you're going to see. And again, we're collecting email addresses and interacting with some of our users already. This will hopefully set us up for our launch in August of 2010. So right now I'm going to show you a video of the demo that we put together. This is a proof of concept, and the use case right now is someone that's actually registered for the site but hasn't logged in right now. So when they hit the main page, this is what they're going to see. You're going to see the main webisode content over here to the left, any related blog content to that webisode up here on the right, and then any new content that's been up here on the site. Now, again, this is a proof of concept, and we're still working out some of the kinks. So as you can see, we're running through the webisode right now, and when we scroll down, we're going to get into really what BeTheBuilders offers our users. Okay, let's scroll a little bit. Okay, so what we have now down here now is any of the latest episodes. So maybe one episode back or 2 episodes back, that's going to be on the main page for the users to see. Then we go up a little bit more, and then we have the discussion forums/comments where people get to interact with each other. And then this next section just above that is what we like to use for allowing our users to do their home renovation projects. And if a project references this material, it's going to show up right there. But since this user isn't logged in right now, they're not going to see that, and we encourage them to log in to get that access. And then finally, all the way up at the top, we have some of the products that were used in the webisode. And the interesting thing here is that when you actually go and click on one of those, you'll be sent to one of our affiliate partners, like let's say someone like Amazon.com, who, when the user actually buys the product, will get a percentage of that sale, which is excellent. So now we just see here an image of Amazon.com. We're going to actually go back to the site, and then you can see the buttons on the right where the user can actually go in the webisode and see where the product was actually being used. So this person wants to add this project to their dashboard. They're going to go ahead and log in, and from that point, they're going to be presented with their dashboard. And this dashboard allows them to track and manage all their home renovations. And as you see here, the first project which shows up, that's what they wanted to do, was update their installation. And you see the progress is at 0, and they've got a couple other projects that are in progress. Some other important points here are the cost savings through our partners that we'll offer our users based upon the projects that they've worked on. And then we have here need advice. So we'll get them in touch with a local contractor if need be and set up that qualified lead. And then their green index, which is just a way for them to judge whether or not or how well their home renovations are contributing to the environmental well-being. So with that, we're going to actually go back to the main page and then just illustrate how we were talking before, that when the user has logged in, they're going to see the project and associated blog content or webisodes attached to that project so that they can reference it fairly easily. So from that point, how does this website fit within all the other ones that are out there now that I've kind of given you the demonstration? So right here on my chart, I've got instructional from very low to very how-to, and these are in terms of websites. On the very y-axis, we've got just general construction, home improvement, to very environmental. So the first group we're going to talk about are Tree Hugger Agree Daily. Great for getting news and information, but not a lot of how-to information. The second group, HDTV, HomeTips.com, gives you some more of that instruction, but not necessarily a lot of that environmental impact. And then finally, the kind of heavy hitters, BobVila.com, This Old House, Howcasts, synonymous with how-to. Unfortunately, environmentalism isn't really their core competencies. And as a result, you'll see up here in the top right, we've got this gap. And that gap is filled by BeTheBuilders.com. So just to move on quickly, when we talk about internally, how are we going to get this done and get this to market? This is our management team, myself, JC, and Sebastian. We just want to illustrate that we each bring something different to the table. And we also realize that we can't do everything ourselves. So we have an on-air host who is ready to sign the contract. We have a few other positions that we're looking to fill in the future years once we get this online. We also know that we don't know everything, and we always need advice. We always do. So we've gone out and found our first board member, Jody, who's actually had some experience on HGTV, Better Homes and Gardens, and brings some of that decorating interior design to the team. And then we've got the contractor perspective. Danny has done a lot of work in contracting and home improvement. But we also realize that we need some extra people on the team, and we look forward to looking for those people into the future. So now I'm going to pass it off to Sebastian, who's going to talk about how we take care of this externally.
Thank you. We developed a brand positioning statement that kind of shows you the vision where we want BeTheBuilders to go. It says, for the passionate do-it-yourself homeowner, BeTheBuilders is the online, environmentally focused contractor that gives homeowners access to the advice and knowledge needed to complete their home improvement. This is our vision, but how are we going to achieve that tactically? Our marketing strategy consists of 6 key factors. The first being building up an intra-industry presence. You can see that we want to build a network of experts by attending workshops, conferences, and really getting BeTheBuilders linked into the green industry. The second factor is in internet marketing, where we approach individuals with high social networking potential with our message, and also engage in banner advertising and email campaigns, as well as leveraging multiple communication channels. The third important factor is affinity websites. We're trying to syndicate content, such as our webisodes, and stream them on affinity websites. That gives new content to them and an exposure to their user base for us. Also, we're looking into creating collaborative content and cross-promotion with other affinity websites. The next factors are expert and sponsor promotion, where our experts and sponsors just kind of get BeTheBuilders out there. Also, a lead certification networking, where we're trying to get associate's degrees in leadership and energy and environmental design to kind of tap into those networks and communities, and also leverage our personal networks, very important for a new startup. When we look at our business, we identified 4 key stakeholder groups, and we strongly believe that we have a good value proposition for each of these groups. Our user community, where we can give them the knowledge and experience they need to do the projects. Also, our investors. We are a lean business in a lean economy with a low capital intensity, and we truly believe that we can give them a strong return on their investment, which I will address later. The next key stakeholder group is our affiliate partners, where they get an exposure to our user base and can get their products with our user base, as well as our experts, who also can have an exposure to our users by showing them their services, and also can share their value for the environment. How does all this translate into making money? We worked long and hard to really balance out the sources of revenue, and we identified 6 different sources of revenue, 4 that are more advertisement-based and 2 that are non-advertisement-based. We start with product placement of our partners in the webisodes, such as the products you've seen. And then webisode commercials that are going to be pre, mid, and end roll commercials that are very short, very targeted, and always in line with the theme of the webisode, so we can avoid overexposure to advertisement. The same goes for banner advertisement and corporate sponsorships, which we want to keep to a minimum so that the website is as fun and informal as possible. An important aspect is affiliate marketing. This means that any links that go off our website to affiliate partners, such as Amazon.com you've seen earlier, a small percentage of all the revenues that are generated there will go back to our business. And finally, qualified leads generation. As Remus has shown in the demonstration, once the users seek out for contractors to help them with their home improvement, we can match them to local contractors and get a small fee for that qualified lead we provide to their business. How does all this translate into our bottom line? You see all the financial calculations in the business plan in great detail, but this is just like the net income, where you can see that we have negative net income in the first 2 years and a break-even point in year 3. This gives us a total funding need of approximately $141,000, which we're approached with a 3-tiered funding. First, each of the founders is willing to put in $15,000 in personal savings because we truly believe in the success potential of this business venture. Then, prior to year 1, we're looking to find funding from friends and family of approximately $65,000 to get us through year 1, and after year 1, from private investors, $75,000 to get us to the break-even point and into profitable regions. This would give us a total funding of $185,000. The question for investors is, how much equity can they get for their money? We applied a net present value valuation model with a discount factor of 50%. Mind you that is a very high discount factor that we took to be conservative with our estimates and also to mirror the riskiness that a new startup venture we have, and especially a startup venture in the internet. Using this valuation model, we have for friends and family, a valuation of a net present value of T0 of $230,000, which will roughly translate into 22% equity stake in the company. And at T1, for the private investors who come in later, an NPV of $346,000, which would translate their investment into roughly another 22%, and would leave the founding team, the management team, with a majority stake of 56% in the business. The question investors have to ask themselves is, how much of a return can I get for my investment? It is difficult to value a new startup business, and therefore we approach two valuation models, one that's more of a floor and one more of a ceiling kind of level, and both of which are quite common to value internet startups. The first one is a valuation model by an EBITDA times X multiplier, with an estimated EBITDA after year 5 of roughly $2 million, and an X multiplier of 2.5. We got that multiplier from industry data and comparable transactions, such as Discovery Channel buying treehugger.com, and again, this is a conservative estimate, which would give us a valuation of roughly $5 million and would translate for our investors into a 17.5x times initial investment and 14.9 times initial investment for the two investors. Let's look at the trailing 12 months revenue multiplier method. We have a trailing 12-month revenue of roughly $2.4 million in year 5, a TTM multiplier of roughly 5, which is an estimate that is common for content-based internet ventures, and would give us a valuation of $12 million or a 41.1x or 35x for our investors. We really want to go with the more conservative one, and that's why you see this evaluation in the business plan, because we want to be conservative with the estimates, knowing the riskiness of such a business. The question is, how are we going to implement all of this? For our implementation, we started in 2009, created the business plan, got feedback on the business plan, and really worked on it, incorporated all the feedback we could get, and developed it further in August 2009 with a setup phase where we had the legal setup done. We had auditions for our on-air host, chose somebody who's lined up to sign the contract. And we're now ready to take the business to the launch in August 2010, where we launched a final website and get season 1 of our webisodes going. After that, we're looking into an expansion phase over 4 more years where we want to get really grow the business, maybe get additional funding to do so, and are also looking into an international market penetration into European markets. I personally have insight into the German market from my background and how the green movement is growing there and how home improvement is approached there. We see that a very viable option for BeTheBuilders. After 5 years, we're looking into potential exit strategy of a buyout if there's a fair valuation on the table. If not, we as the management team are very much willing to take BeTheBuilders into the future because we believe in the future growth potential of this business venture. I'm going to hand it over to JC, who's going to conclude our presentation.
Thanks, Sebastian. So to kind of wrap things up here, surmise what we've talked about, we know that interest and desire for green home improvement is out there. And we also know that this is being driven even further by the current housing market and economy. Now, BeTheBuilders is uniquely positioned to take advantage of this, hopefully once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. That's because the big giants out there, the big-name players, aren't really paying attention to this just yet. So we have an early mover advantage opportunity if we strike now. Now, while homeowners are interested, they still need and desire the resources and tools to be able to do these jobs, these environmentally themed home improvements. Now, BeTheBuilders addresses this by combining both good content, which is our knowledge base, with good context, which is our how-to and do-it-yourself model. Thirdly, this is a very challenging and difficult time, especially for startup ventures. To address that, we have built a diversified and very lean, conservative business model to not only increase the feasibility of actually launching the company, but actually achieving the metrics that we've set forth that our investors will expect in 5 years, and so on. Lastly, we have a metrics-driven management team that is committed to delivering sustained value to each of our stakeholders, investors included. So what we're asking for is a $65,000 investment in return for a 22% equity share, followed up by a third-tier funding later down the road. As you can see here, we've already been gathering testimonials from industry experts at the concept and idea behind this. There's a lot of excitement. We're all excited. We hope that you're excited. And with that, we'd be happy to take any questions you may have.
I say to you that I was really impressed with your
Thank you.
plan. Get ready for what I'm going to say next. You guys are not only good on paper, you're really good in presence, too. You did a terrific job of presenting to us. You're way too timid. I would not invest in you guys on the basis of the plan you have going now. You need to put $2 million in the front of 65,000. You've got a great plan. Somebody's going to steal your plan if you're not careful. You might want to sell your plan today if this is all you want to do. Because this world has turned into a big global world. You write this plan like you're doing it for Pacoima or Pasadena. No, you're going to be trying to do business with major suppliers, and you've got a great idea. So all I would encourage you to do is to not be so conservative. Don't be so timid. Get yourself recognized as big. Then I want to just add one other thing and ask you about this. Do you guys know anything about gardening yourselves?
Actually, growing up, my family did have a garden that we used, but not directly. No, and that's
That's not the question.
no, not intimately. No.
Well, you present like guys who read a book on gardening, but you don't talk very much about what you bring in terms of your own expertise. And let me tell you, when you get out there in front of the venture capitalists and they've got 150 plans to consider today, and they're only going to fund 3, they've got to believe that you guys really have expertise that nobody else has. Mm-hmm. So either make sure you get that on your team or present yourselves in new ways. Because I can tell you that it'll be tough to get the big money without their believing and having trust that you've spent a few years really learning what you're talking about.
Certainly. And if I could just quickly address just
Yeah.
a few of those points. I know others have questions as well. But going back to your original statement about putting a $2 million at the front, that's something we completely agree with. The fact of the matter is what a tremendous problem to have, though, right? I mean, if you're sitting here telling me that this is a great opportunity and a great idea, and if our only problem is that we've been conservative, I believe that given our business model, that's something that we would definitely consider and want to get feedback from more professionals who have more knowledge about this type of business than us. But I believe that's a tremendous position to be in. And certainly I feel that investors, especially in this economy, are sort of over the bloated promises and projections of, it's not sexy to say we're only going to have $5 or $12 million trailing revenue in year 5, but it's real. And in this economy, it's something that I believe that there is a group of investors out there who will be approached to that. And as far as advertising and marketing with the $2 million, one model we could adapt is similar to what eHarmony did, which was you took on additional funding after a few years in the business just for that very purpose, if I'm not mistaken, where you wanted to get more eyes to the website. So that is tremendous opportunity down the line, but we believe that in this economy, in order to get the money that we need to keep costs low and keep our projections very conservative. But thank you for that feedback.
So I got a question.
Please.
Where's the IP in all your business? Where's the intellectual property? What stops Home Depot from tomorrow squashing you guys? Great idea, congratulations, everything you said, +1. Now what? So you get another $65,000 or $400,000 or $2 million. Where is the IP? I was looking for the IP, maybe I missed it. Help me out. If tomorrow, can Home Depot put you out of business? What is it that you have that they don't, if they want to focus? Or somebody else with $10 million. But a great idea, by the way. I love the idea.
Thank you.
We address this issue, and we're very much aware of it, because it's a content-based business, and we think that we don't have IP as a form of patents or something we can legally defend, but we have a couple of aspects that address that issue. For one, we believe that we can get a website off the ground that's fun, interactive, and really can provide that content, and other people can do that too, but they are following us. That brings me to point 2. We want to be a first mover with this. We want to get out there, build an initial user base, and try to grow that as fast as possible. Because once we have that, then somebody like Home Depot, who we've been looking into, might not launch something else, but might be looking into a buyout. And as we addressed in our implementation, that is something we'll look potentially into. So I think the combination of a unique website, unique content, a unique user base, and the first mover advantage, that will be our IP, and we just have to get it off the ground and get it
I
started.
still say that you guys look,
Right.
because it's such a good idea.
Yeah.
Go look and see if you can get IP somehow by bundling 4 services that nobody else has, 5 services that gets directed to somebody else. There is something in there
Yeah,
that you
so
guys can get.
to extend that, let's get down into the technology, right? Because this is not, it's not a content business that you're in. But because if you're doing content business, and the reason why your cost of capital is so low, therefore the hurdle rate of competition is very low. So you got to move fast with some IP, to the point. What is that IP? The IP is not content. It's not aggregation of data of where websites have gone today. It is actually business intelligence. You guys have to come up with the science around how do you find the customer who was willing to buy under its current buying pattern. Is it awareness? Is it evaluation, consideration? Is it purchase? Is it loyalty? Your ability to qualify those potential leads compared to the content holders, which is, what do they do? Are they providing a service? Are they providing information? Are they selling at a discount today? Do I buy 2 for 1? So you have to match that. That search engine, that engine itself is your IP, all right? And that's what you should establish your valuation of your business from. Your valuation of the business of content, it's to me too. You're gonna get someone coming in. So just to make a point on where you guys fit. So if you listen to Home Depot, their tagline is, do it yourself. Now, what did Lowe's do? They moved over a little bit and it says, let's do it together. There's a differentiation between the two. Not too many people know it, right? So when you put your chart up there and you say, be the builder in that upper right-hand corner, understand that upper right-hand corner is huge and big and fragmented. It's not about be the builder of green, it's green living. If it's green living, building is part of that. So come up with the IP engine that allows you to go to those adjacent markets. If you want to start Be the Builder, start there, that's fine. But understand the IP is the engine itself. It's not content, it's not aggregation, it's business intelligence. It's matching the demand with the supply.
And the marketing spin on that is, you have to build a community. I have the same question, which is, what's the sustainable competitive advantage? Because any one of them who have an awful lot of money can come in and match what you've done. And by the way, we need to change the name. Your name has nothing to do with what your value proposition is.
Something we're in the
We have to,
process of right now.
we have to figure it
we-
out. But the
And in
whole,
stealth mode.
the whole community
Yeah.
aspect,
Green community,
of which,
green.
and your content is going to be huge in terms of developing that community. And you're gonna have to rethink your content strategy because it's not as easy as you think. And it's gonna take that 2 in front of the 65 in order to accomplish it.
So how about some financials? So I'm an analytic person.
Okay.
I'd like to understand a little bit more about the assumptions you made when you make it so pronounced about the number of shares, the percentage of shares in terms of the dollar that you invest in. What makes you conclude that is actually what the venture community care about?
We obviously it's hard to value a business 5 years down the road if we're not even at the starting point yet. What we try to do with this is it basically comes down to this X multiplier method, which we've researched, and to be a 2.5, we found numbers between 2.5 and 4. We went with the conservative 1, and we think that that is how it is applied. Obviously, that is given on research, on online research, on database research, on any kind of resources we have at the university, and we haven't talked to VCs yet. They might disagree, but just from what we found out on our research, they might agree as well. And the same goes for here. The trailing 12 months method was explicitly explained as something that is applied to content-based internet businesses or just internet businesses. And again, it's based on projections that are in greater detail in the business plan as you have it. and then the TTM multiplier that is applied to a business comparable to what we think we're doing. And
See, my reaction is you are raising too little money for giving up your arm and leg already in your first tranche. And so think about what the panelist is actually trying to help you today, starting from the first point on this side about the protection of your intellectual property. Somebody else who can actually just take it, may even actually working on something already, to the intellectual property and the branding, which actually, to me, at the end of the day, and I launch eBay, it's the community aspect of it and the branding. Don't belittle that. And with that, I think you guys will do great with your idea, but at the end of the day, you may just earn or kept less than 1% of your company. So be careful.
Well, just to quickly address a portion of that. 15 seconds. This presentation is really not positioned specifically to VCs. Obviously, after hearing this panel's feedback, we're going to go back and sort of recalibrate. But like I said, this is really specific for the second-tier investment as we've done it right now. And we believe that these returns are something that would attract family and friends or a private investor. This is not everybody's cup of tea as it's currently positioned from an investment standpoint. But we believe that in the role that we're kind of approaching it as is, it's very attractive.
That makes sense.
Thank you.
Just the point, just be careful about giving too much too soon away. I mean, just, you're giving 22% here, 22% there, and in our world, that's a lot. I mean, if you get 3 to 4%, you know, for that amount, you know,
0.03%.
yeah, you're going, wow, I'll take,
Yeah.
you know, 2%, 3%.
You guys made a-
22%, it's like, okay,
You guys
I'll
made a
give you
great
that, but
presentation, it was fabulous. Lose the words first mover advantage because
Yeah.
you don't have it. You think you do, but you don't, because when Home Depot and Lowe's have 99.99% unaided awareness, you have no advantage.
Yeah.
You just have to sneak around them somehow.
goes to the IP,
Yeah.
goes to the IP question.
Thank you very much.